3 diss tracks, less than a week, and still no response. T.I. has now delivered a third record aimed directly at 50 Cent, and at this point, this is no longer casual tension. In rap culture, 1 diss can be dismissed, 2 raises eyebrows, but 3, released in rapid succession, shifts the narrative entirely. The latest track doesn't rely on vague shots, it questions credibility, challenges dominance, and revisits moments from 50's past that many assumed were buried. The tone is deliberate, less playful, more confrontational. And here's the issue. In hip-hop, silence carries meaning. If 50 Cent chooses not to respond musically, the conversation may move without him. If he does respond, this escalates into something far bigger than internet exchanges. The pressure is no longer subtle, it's strategic. One notable element in the track involves a reference to one of 50 Cent's older film roles, a period when he significantly altered his physical appearance for the part, but did not receive widespread recognition. That moment is now being revisited lyrically, which some listeners view as direct disrespect. The tone of the record suggests escalation. The hook centers around the idea of confronting someone who presents strength publicly but retreats when challenged directly. The message appears to question credibility and consistency. Rather than subtle commentary, the lyrics frame it as a direct challenge. The theme throughout emphasizes stripping power from someone perceived as a dominant figure. The argument presented is that if someone builds a reputation on intimidation, eventually they may encounter someone willing to respond in equal measure. The record leans into that energy, positioning itself as a call-out rather than a passing jab. There are also references to past allegations and long-standing narratives surrounding cooperation and credibility. As always, it is important to note that such accusations have circulated publicly for years, but they remain part of lyrical exchanges rather than court-established conclusions. In rap conflicts, these themes often resurface as rhetorical tools rather than verified legal findings. The overall direction of the track suggests this is not a one-time response. The repetition of the hook reinforces the idea that the confrontation is ongoing. The underlying message is consistent. If someone claims dominance, they must be prepared to defend it. At this stage, the broader question becomes whether 50 Cent will respond musically. Historically, he has approached conflicts through multiple channels, sometimes with direct tracks, other times through social media commentary. However, with 3 diss records now in circulation, some observers argue that only a rap response would shift the momentum. There is also a regional element being discussed, with T.I. representing the South and 50 Cent long associated with New York. The narrative is being framed by some as more than a personal dispute, potentially a symbolic regional rivalry. While that interpretation may amplify the stakes, it is still rooted in individual competition. A brief promotional interruption occurred during the discussion, referencing an online rewards platform offering payments through cryptocurrency, PayPal, or gift cards. After the sponsorship mention, attention returned to the track itself. Looking at the release pattern, it appears possible that T.I. is operating from an album rollout mindset. Artists preparing projects often remain in studio mode, which can make rapid releases easier. That context may explain how multiple tracks surfaced in quick succession. Comparatively, reactions suggest that the second diss record carried stronger lyrical impact, while the first set the tone. This third track feels more direct, less subtle, more confrontational. The repeated question embedded in the lyrics can be summarized simply: "Where are you?" It implies that silence may be interpreted as avoidance. If no response comes, the dynamic could expand. When one artist appears unchecked, others may feel encouraged to enter the conversation. In competitive rap culture, perceived inactivity can shift perception quickly. Another layer emerged with a social media post referencing Beyoncé. Online culture often reacts strongly when certain public figures are mentioned. Observers noted that invoking high-profile names can create unnecessary distractions within an already tense situation. Returning to the record itself, the lyrical focus remains centered on challenging credibility, questioning toughness, and demanding direct engagement. The tone is aggressive but consistent. The repeated phrasing emphasizes that the alleged bully must now answer publicly. From a broader perspective, both artists are experienced veterans. Each has a history of high-profile disputes. Both understand how narratives develop online. That awareness makes the silence, or lack of silence, significant. Musically, this third track is arguably more memorable than the previous two. Its hook is repetitive and designed for replay value. The production feels intentional rather than rushed. It carries the energy of someone who does not intend to step back. The larger concern being expressed by some commentators is strategic. If lyrical attacks go unanswered repeatedly, it may influence how others perceive the situation. In rap culture, responses are often viewed as necessary to maintain standing. Earlier in this stretch, another artist had released a brief diss as well. Counting those alongside T.I.'s 3 records creates multiple unchecked lyrical shots. While one might be ignored, sustained releases become harder to dismiss. It is also worth noting that an artist preparing to release an album has little incentive to stop generating attention. Momentum can serve promotional goals. From that standpoint, continued output would not be surprising. At its core, this discussion returns to one simple point. Rap disputes are traditionally settled through music. Memes and commentary can extend the conversation, but when multiple tracks are released in rapid succession, the expectation shifts toward bars. Whether 50 Cent chooses to respond with a record remains uncertain. Historically, he has alternated between lyrical responses and strategic silence. However, if the releases continue, the pressure for a direct musical reply may increase. For now, the situation remains active. 3 diss tracks in a matter of days signal intention rather than accident. If no response arrives, speculation will likely continue. If a response does come, the narrative could shift quickly. At this point, the momentum clearly sits with the artist releasing music. The coming days will determine whether that momentum holds or whether it triggers a new phase of the rivalry.